So here we are, Eternals, the most controversial Marvel movie since, I don't know, the last controversial movie. But the real question is, do I understand why this has become such a controversial movie across the world, even though it's raking in tens of millions of dollars in its opening weekend? And the answer to that is absolutely I do. This is a really fucking beefy movie in terms of its lore, and I really feel that if you aren't a Marvel lore fanboy like me and many other people across the world, but if you're more of a casual fan or even a casual critic, I can seriously understand why this movie would take a toll on you. The whole middle third of this movie, we're just going to leap right into it, is heavy, heavy, heavy on lore, on the creation of the Marvel Universe style lore, on top of feeding you new information about the Eternals, who in themselves are a new addition to the MCU. This is just new, one after another piece of information in that middle chunk, and I really can't understand why people get turned off by that. But I gotta say, I really liked it. There's a lot of simple character moments that ground you in this lore, and I feel like if Zhao didn't direct that the way that she did, that would have really lost me. It would have lost probably a lot more people, but she has such a beautiful control over character and over just simple moments. A glance here, a little conversation there, an offhand comment. She has such just a beautiful way to direct humans, and that's very ironic considering the larger-than-life galactic nature of these Eternal characters, but she grounds them in humanity, in human nature, in love. The theme of this movie, most importantly, does come down to purpose versus love. And I thought that Chloe just absolutely nailed it. The performances were all really good. Like I said, Chloe Zhao just really knows how to fucking direct. She just directs people so wonderfully. She directs the scene just fantastic. There really wasn't a weak scene of performance in this entire movie. And in a 2.5 hour long thing, that is fucking tough, but she nails the grit, the humor, the kind of down-to-earth character moments, the cosmic scale stuff, just so fucking wonderfully. I gotta say that my personal favourites have to have been Gemma Chan's Cersei, Richard Madden as Icarus, whoever played Druig, I forget his name off the top of my head, Kit Harington's Dane Whitman, I cannot wait to see more Dane Whitman. That second post-credit scene though, holy fucking shit. Yes, I'm so excited. And then I love like Athena, Phastos, Kingo, Makari. Really, everyone did a wonderful job. The only one which I felt was kind of flat was Bill Skarsgård, weirdly, as Crow, the deviant who kind of evolves through the movie and kind of challenges that question of, you have now become us. And I get that he wasn't the main villain of this movie. There almost is no straight up villain. Like, Icarus does some shitty things, and, you know, you could say that Crow is a villain, but then again, the Deviants were sent by the Celestials, and the Celestials could be the villains, but the Celestials also have created all life, so there is a real question of morality there, and I think that's a very interesting conversation that can be kind of taken from this movie, is just where does the morality in this lie? Who do you think is the baddie? Everyone does kind of shitty things at one point or another, even Sprite. Sprite can be considered like an anti-hero or a villain to a degree, but, you know, just fascinating questions of morality. But anyway, back to the actual fucking movie, unless my ransom morality. No one came to this review for that. So, you know, as usual in these Marvel films, the mix of visual and practical effects were fucking fantastic, but this one I really just have to commend it, because the sets that we saw built, the practical effects were all just absolutely fucking fantastic. And just in terms of the VFX, this movie has, I think, the best use of sheer scale in an MCU movie. The last time that I watched a film and really felt, holy fuck, that thing is really fucking big, was Gareth Edwards' Godzilla movie a few years back. The way he captured the scale of Godzilla was just immaculate. I would say that is one of the best films to depict scale of one of these kaiju level creatures. But now Chloe Zhao has come along and taken the crown off Gareth Edwards' head, because Arshan the Judge, holy fucking shit, every time he came on screen, I got a little scared just by how huge he was. Like, we've seen big creatures in the MCU before, but this is like the closest we're getting to a Galactus level threat. Even seeing something like Nowhere, we didn't get that sense of humongous scale. Like, seeing Arishem just crest over the entire fucking planet, and the beautiful use of, early in the movie, just showing 4 of his 6 eyes, and then showing the 6 eyes, and then showing the whole body, just giving the enormity of the scale that these Celestials should have. And, you know, just, again, all the designs for the Celestials and the Eternals just kind of ripped right from the Jack Kirby comics. The costumes in this movie, another thing that I have to commend, is just, good God, the visual style of the costumes and just the look of the Eternals. They're kind of line-based, circle-based, kind of almost geometry-based kind of powers. Look just incredible. They are some of my favorite visual style in the MCU. I genuinely adore them, and I don't think that this movie should be put for, like, best picture and best this and best performances, because, you know, there's a few things that I think are very much award worthy to at least be nominated for, specifically the cinematography. My god, it's a Chloe Zhao movie. Come on, people. It's gonna look fantastic. She doesn't do bad work. I kind of forget who did the cinematography for this one, but it was immaculate. Again, this film is one of the best shot movies in the MCU, and the costume design as well. The actual coloured costumes, like the blue suit for Icarus and the green suit for Cersei, the white suit for Athena, those kind of iconic costumes are absolutely fucking incredible. Every time they were on screen, I just couldn't look away from not even the performances happening, but simply just marveling at, holy shit, those are incredible costumes. You know, just absolutely nutty shit. You know, really, 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 really good. Probably my favorite costumes in the MCU. Seriously, everyone who, like, designed and concepted and stitched and wove and created those costumes, you deserve the fullest amount of credit that you can possibly get. Absolutely fucking flawless work, so well done there. Let's talk about the action a little bit, because the action in this movie is kind of brief and fleeting, which is, you know, not usually what we'd get from a Marvel movie. Usually these would be full-on action spectacles and action set piece here and here and here and here, and while we do get them, they don't feel as, like, huge, as explosive as, like, the final battle in Avengers until the very end. Obviously, we get that huge scene with the Celestial, with Tiamat coming through the Earth's crust. You know, it is a very big, massive scale sequence, but I wouldn't even call it a battle. Like, it's not a battle of the Eternals versus Tiamat, it's an internal battle. It's a family fight at the end of the day. It is Icarus making a very poor choice, and he becomes the villain, which is fascinating. I think that, you know, Richard Madden plays it very well, and, you know, it's just a really interesting, rather than fighting a big CGI villain, it is a battle from within, and it's a battle of trying to stop and save rather than just destroy, which is what, you know, you're usually having these big final CGI battles, and come to big, massive clashes of blades and explosions and cool team-up moves, and while there is a lot of that in this movie, it grounds it to a scale which is surprising, like a human scale, while having this massive celestial cosmic threat. I don't know how to describe it, but my god, Chloe Zhao, fantastic. I also just want to talk very briefly, because it sort of is used in the action part as well, but Makkari is an extremely fun speedster. So all I'm going to say about that, I still think that I have a little soft spot in my heart for the Quicksilver scenes in the X-Men movies. They're pretty fucking perfect for me, but Makkari is a fantastic addition, and I think we just need more MCU speedsters. I give us Quicksilver back whenever, you know, give us Speed, Wicked Speed, come on, we need more speedsters, because I want to see, we've seen speedsters interacting around a lot of non-speed people, but I want to see two speedsters in the same room, running around at the same pace, being able to be like, hey, we're super fast, you're super fast, while everyone else is just standing there completely dumbstruck. I think that's just a moment that will happen at some point in a superhero movie. It doesn't have to be Marvel, it probably will be when the X-Men get introduced, though. I don't think DC is going to get there anytime soon, but then again, they have the Flash movie coming up, so there's potential for that cool scene of, oh, two speedsters going super, super fast, while everyone else is really slow, and they're the only people at the actual, like, normal rate of talking in the scene. You know what I'm trying to describe. But yeah, fucking awesome. I love Makari. Great. I'm a sucker for speedsters. What can I say? One thing I will just say as well, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but holy fuck, those post-credit scenes have ginormous fucking implications for the future of the MCU. That one bombshell casting choice, if you've seen the movie, you know who I'm talking about. Not that one vocal cameo, but that one casting choice I am really fucking nervous about, I won't lie, because I am not a fan of the actor. But who knows, I could be eating my words come the inevitable sequel, because of course this movie ends with Eternals will return. So, you know, this isn't the end of their story, this isn't the end of the Celestial story. I am looking forward to exploring that side of the MCU, the cosmic side, much more in the future, and you know, I just think this was a good movie. This was not the worst movie ever made. Was it the best Marvel movie? No, not really. It's kind of just a little above average for me. Yeah, while there is a lot to kind of, you know, praise in this movie, I just have Marvel movies that I prefer more than it, such as Venom, Let There Be Carnage. No, don't worry. That was a joke. That was a joke. This is very middling for me. A little higher than the middle. You know, here's my MCU ranking, if you're curious. Maybe I'll do a video on it one day. I don't know. But overall, I get why people would get lost in this movie. It's a big chunky movie in the middle part, and if you're not into kind of low human drama and, like, questions of life and morality, this won't be for you. But as a huge Marvel lore nerd who loves character dramas, this was exactly up my alley. I would give this an 8 out of 10. Give me more Chloe Zhao.